All right, guys, welcome to Happy Hour Holidays, where we cheers to business, entrepreneurship, and life stories. Go out there and make your dreams come true. I did. So did Sean, and so did Crystian.
Yes.
Hey, really appreciate all the fans out there tuning in, liking and subscribing all our social media pages. It's been great, man. We love the support. I'm your host every single week, Manny Fresh. We got the resume, Sean Fabre, and in studio today we got Crystian Martinez on his motherfucking birthday with Inertia Medical Center.
Thank you.
So, Crystian, tell us a little bit about what your business does and how it helps, and kind of mediate between the attorneys, the personal injury, all that goes into accidents, basically.
Definitely. So first and foremost, thank you for having me on, guys. This is truly a blessing already as it is, man. My clinic runs a little different, man. We wanted to not only establish a business that will cater to the patient, but also fill in the gaps from A to Z. So what I wanted to do is not only create the rehabilitative side, but for my years of doing marketing in this industry, I wanted to mend the gap between attorney and patient or client. A lot of times we get these clients that are coming in and they have so-and-so name of attorneys that they're not having a good experience. So what we did on our side is not only did we mend the gap and create a relationship with these attorneys, but we also went a little further and created some personalized events that we can talk to the attorneys and say, listen, this patient is dealing with this. This is their insurance. This is where they're located. This is what their insurance is telling the patient. Now, not only are we creating a narrative for these attorneys, but we're also assuring this patient is going to get looked at as an actual individual and not just a number that's filling a roster.
How do you vet the attorneys that you decide to work with? Or is it just, hey, this is my client first, and then you kind of analyze who they're dealing with as far as the attorney? Or are you recommending the attorneys for these people?
Yeah, definitely. So we can't directly recommend the attorney to the actual patient, but what we do, man, is from establishing these patients for these attorneys for so many years, we have created personal relationships. As we were talking off camera, I actually hang out with these attorneys. I get to meet them on a personal level. Therefore, we're able to vet their personalities and assure that we're matching the patient with a proper attorney. At the end of the day, being a patient advocate first, and lastly, I want to be a patient advocate. We understand there's a money component to this whole situation. So we want to make sure we're going to get them to a proper attorney who has experience in whatever their case may be, and that they're able to progress forward with that.
This seems like such a unique business. How did you go about getting into it? Because you were telling me a little bit about your background. You're a former athlete. Can you tell us a little bit about the history of Crystian Martinez?
Yeah, tell us a little bit about when you got out of high school, going in. Who made you today, man?
The biggest thing for me has been failure, man. So in all transparency, my way to look at business was I have a really great idea. I'm going to attack the idea. But every time I met resistance, there was an excuse to fall back and say, hey, maybe this isn't the right platform. A lot of times we look at businesses as that, I'm going to create a business, therefore I'm going to be wealthy and I'm going to be having a luxurious lifestyle. Nobody tells you the backside to the camera. Nobody sees all the hard work and dedication that comes to it. So in about 2020, I was injured. I have partial paralysis now on my right foot. So I fractured my back in 3 different places, had a brain bleed, had an S1.
How'd that happen?
Injury. So I had a fall. So I had 2 events. So I had a substantial fall, and then I ignored the fall. Later going to the gym, I was bodybuilding at the time. I'm warming up with my father, and we have something light. We have 225 in the bar, getting ready to do some squats, man. Get on the bar. One time going down, a weight that was nothing at that point. Go down. I hear the loudest snap in my back. I drop basically I drop on the ground like I'm a dead man, and I'm not feeling anything at all. I look at my father and I'm like, hey man, I think there's something definitely wrong. And I explained to him about my fall previously. I tell him, listen, this is something that is starting to be worrisome. I can't feel my right side. Get me home. Man, everything was just...
Like the entire right side?
My entire right side was completely shut. I could not move my entire right side, so it was very
Even your
weird.
arms or anything?
My arm I could move. From my hip down was just shut. So I'm scared, at that time, I'm like, dude, what am I going to do? My daughter was just born not too long ago. Like, what am I doing? This can't be happening to me. And you hear the horror stories of the gym and style and then what happens in the gym and stuff like that. So I didn't want to believe that's what was going on. So my dad gets me home. I called my wife at the time because I'm living on the 2nd floor. They get me upstairs. I laid down and I just not going away. We call a buddy of ours that owns Park Place MRI. I was like, hey man, we need an MRI reading. I don't know what's going on. Like this is weird. So Dan, my guy, man, he knows it all. He's the guy, the main marketing guy over there. He's like, hey man, come in for an MRI. We'll get you right away. So basically I have 95% occlusion in my nerve root. So
What does that mean?
down your spine, you have your nerve where everything connects and exits away from your spine. So everything is shut down. I blew out my back. When I fractured my back, all that disc debris was occluding 95% of my nerve root, meaning, unfortunately, there was a side where it exits in L4, L5, where you have the main connection to your actual leg motor reflex, or dorsiflex. It lifts and puts down your foot. That was completely shut off. So I go into surgery 24 hours after that.
Damn, that's how serious it was.
Wake up from the surgery, and I can't move, man. I can't move. I'm looking at the surgeon, man.
Like
at
your
this
entire
point,
body?
yeah, entire right side, completely gone. I'm crying.
So
My
you
wife
made
at the
it
time
worse?
is like, calm down. Yeah, even worse, bro.
Oh,
Even worse. You know, the whole time I was like, I got a young wife. I got young kids. Like, what am I going to do? How am I going to be a father? At this point, like, my career comes to my mind. I'm like, I'm having the time of my life. I'm doing what I completely dream of doing, and that was being a firefighter. That's everything I ever wanted to do in my life. It's like, that's gone in an instant. You know, I go to bed, wake up, can't move. So these thoughts go through your head. It's like, what am I going to do? So progressing forward, I have 2 other surgeries. Post that surgery, regained the side, lost the foot. So I have what is called drop foot, or the inability to lift your foot up, right? So during that point, you know, not only am I losing my career, the fire department that I'm working for at the time gets me about a 3-month window before I can come back. They're like, listen, take your time, try to heal, go through your therapies. Man, and it's
Was
just,
it paid? I'm wondering.
no, it was not paid, man. So, you know, luckily my wife at the time held us down, man. She's really, she was super stubborn, man, talking off camera, Cuban woman, you know, she's like, you're going to walk again. You're going to make it happen. I'm getting all these therapies on a daily basis. I'm trying everything I can, man. My mind at the time is starting to shut down with me. You know, unfortunately, man, we don't give our first responders the knowledge and the power and the applaud that they deserve. You know, You never call the fire department on a good day. You're going to call them on your worst day. Somebody's sick. Your house is burning down, your car is burning, or somebody died. Those are the only times you really call them, man. So at this time, I'm like, yo, what am I going to do? And how do I reinvent myself? So everything after that, you know, as a father, I tried to provide for my kids. So I tried everything under the sun, man. I had a wrapping and design business, you know, during COVID, which was very hard to get product.
Talking about like vehicles?
Yeah, I was wrapping cars, wrapping windows, man. I was doing everything I needed to do to pay.
But you got when did you get your feeling?
function?
Yeah, your
My function. So I didn't really get function into, I want to say, like around end of October. So I went into surgery September.
October of 2020?
October of 2020 is when I really started.
This recently happened.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah. So it's coming up, man. And my anniversary is coming up.
So what was the reason why your back gave out like that, or it snapped? What
so
was
basically,
it from?
you can't directly correlate it to which accident really created the issue. However, ignoring the first accident and later on putting more compression, more tension under the spine, pretty much said, hey, listen, I'm already compromised. I try to give you signs. Sometimes, you know, we think we're invincible. We don't want to give our body the attention it deserves, man. Ignored it, go lift, man. At that time, I was pushing heavy weight. So, you know, I'm excited. I'm growing. I'm doing things. And yeah, man.
What kind of fall was it?
So I had
the first one.
So I had a 12-foot fall. Yeah,
What
a slip and fall.
fuck?
So it wasn't nothing.
Slip and fall 12 feet down? That's not just a fall, bro.
That's, you know, it's one of those things that you don't really look so far into it, but however, you're like, okay.
Was
like
it off a roof or something?
Yeah. So, you know, you look at those things and you're like, yo, what do I do? Yeah, pretty much.
Were you doing roofing at the time?
Yeah, I was on a roof.
Yeah.
But I always say, you know, what's crazy is I always pinpointed to that lifting accident. That's really what did it, man. Because, you know, you see all these meatheads,
bro. That's 12-foot fall, dog. I know.
You see all these meatheads, you know, they're getting under the bar and, you know, you're lifting the weight. And it's time under tension, man. You're constantly putting that compression. Mine was just it, man. My ticket was punch. It was
when
coming.
You were squatting, did you have the safety rails on the side?
No,
Damn,
I
bro.
didn't, man.
So it fell on top of you.
No, so it dropped behind me. My father was spotting me, so he pulled it off right away. But, I mean, it was a pretty substantial pop. You could hear it. So I'm almost 99% sure that's what really solidified it and put the stamp on it, because you could hear it, man. Everything in me, man, was crazy. It's when your body's shutting down. And I actually got to listen to somebody else's experience. He's an attorney. His name is Cole. Man, pretty much jumped off a dock and same kind of ordeal. His is a lot worse, but you know, we talk different things. And then there was another speaker that she said when she was paralyzed, she could feel her body shutting down gradually, man. And that's crazy, because to me, that's exactly what I felt that day. Everything within me, once the accident happened, I could feel everything shutting down slowly. It was the weirdest feeling, almost like running cold water through your body, and you just slowly start to progress down, 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 down until I couldn't feel anything again. So, you know,
have you ever had and I'm just asking this to try to get a sense of what it would feel like. Have you ever had something go numb when you're sleeping?
Yes.
Is that what it feels like?
No.
No?
That's what you would think, right? Because you're like, oh my God, it's numb. I can't feel it. But you can still feel it, right? You get pins and needles, little ants all over. No, man, it felt like somebody turned off the lights.
No shit.
Just somebody flipped the switch. I go from pinching myself. I can't feel anything. I'm like poking myself with a needle. I can't feel anything. I'm trying everything and anything to give me a sign of life, right? I'm like, oh my God, like this can't be it. This can't be it. Now I feel everything all the way until I get to the foot.
Yeah.
But
so
before,
how does that work? You can't actually feel your right foot.
No.
So how can you walk?
I have a device, man. So I have many devices. So this is a soft brace. This is something I like. I utilize whenever I'm wearing clothes, you know, trying to look good and stuff like that, hide the brace and stuff like that. However, Hanger Clinic created a brace for me that's actually a kicker for a professional football NFL team. I can't remember the name right now, but they created the brace for him. And this guy's kicking crazy field goals and stuff. Sorry, excuse me. He's a quarterback.
Oh, quarterback?
Yeah, he's a quarterback with drop foot. So, you know, I saw the brace. I'm like, I need that. So I go to Hanger. I'm like, hey, man, like this is what I saw. Like I want to run again. You know, before my accident, I was running 10 miles. After my accident, I'm like shut down, dude. I used to walk lifting my entire leg. I couldn't really put a proper step out. So when they created the brace for me 6 weeks later, I get my brace. First day feels like crap. Second day feels like crap. So I'm starting to lose hope in it. 2 weeks in, I'm like, whoa, bro, like this feels good. So I tried my first run, man. In my first run, I was able to run a mile nonstop. And I was like, man.
You didn't fall at all?
At all, bro. The biggest smile on my face.
Little things in life, bro.
Yeah,
man. Fucking just
we never give thanks to God for the little stuff, bro. Like you're walking. You wake up, man. Everybody's like, oh, I'm just unconsciously, I'm walking. I'm physically walking. So you're like, man, thank God I get to walk. None of us do that, man. None of us, because I didn't do it.
I don't. I mean, I take it for granted, you know, because you're just like, hey,
you
know, you're like, I'm breathing. I got my arms, but you know, there's people out there that are literally waking up and going, either they don't have any arms or something like that, and you're just
well,
like,
a lot of people like to say that your heart is the engine of your body. I disagree, man, because being compromised in your legs, bro, that's really what moves you around, really. Yeah. So if anything, the heart is just your transmission. Your legs is what keeps you flowing and moving, you know? So those are the little things that I look at is now in this life now. So I got baptized in November of 2024. So when I dunked my head, man, I literally erased everything. I was like, I want a new start. I want to look at life different. You know, I was diagnosed with PTSD in 2020 and everything was dark. And this crazy thing was said to me and was wild. If you can only focus on the negative, in my retrospect to my life was, oh my God, I'm crippled now. Like I will never be the athlete I was. Most people is like, I don't make the money that I want to make. Or others are like, oh my God, I'm living in a shitty situation. But you have the ability to change your thought process, right? You can say, I'm going to be better for tomorrow. I'm done being the person I once was. Let me be grateful for what I have. Therefore, I progress myself forward because I'm a strong believer. You put good out into the world, good will happen for you. So some of those little things can really make a difference. And I adapted that into the business world. I said, things are going to be difficult, but if I overcame paralysis, I can overcome these little obstacles that present yourself in business, whether it's getting a new client, whether it's selling a property that you're not able to sell because nobody's looking at it. And my side is right now, you know, we are officially been open for going on 4 weeks. So next Monday will be 4 weeks a month that we've been in business. I've been 7 years in the marketing side of things, but I wanted to rebrand myself. Not only did I want to create those connections that I already had all over again, I wanted to fall back into the space of, hey, listen, we're here to do business. We're going to do it the right way. But with my experience, everything I've overcame, building that callous mentality, right? Because it's very easy to create an excuse. I used to do it, right? Business is guard. Hey, let's look for the other venture because this is really not going to pan out. Rather than say, let's just put our heads down, grind a little harder, callous our mindset, tell ourselves in the mirror, hey, everything's going to be okay. We can push forward past this and we'll create a better tomorrow. So sometimes it's not about who you know or what you know. It's how long you can sustain your business until people find you popular. And then everybody wants to be your friend, right? Look at it in a podcast. You know, day one, nobody really knows you. Nobody really will probably listen to the whole thing. No. But what's crazy is the more you do it, the more influence you have. Then you get those people that start watching you, retrovert back and start listening to the first ones, the second ones, and third ones, because now you're popular. Everybody wants to be your friend when you're popular. So that's my mentality now. We're going to grind really hard until we become popular, and then those people will want to be in business with us.
I love it, man.
I got one more question,
Sure.
and then I'm going to move away from the paralysis. When you're walking, you have to anticipate every right step.
Every step. It is a conscious thought that I do every day.
Because you said something about going to the bathroom in the middle of the night or getting out of bed and you just do it unconsciously. You now have to focus on every single step.
Full conscious. I have to know, especially when that brace is off, because it's very easy for me to roll my foot.
Can you feel the weight of your foot when you're walking?
Yeah. So it's very heavy because my toes drag. Whenever I don't have the brace on, my toes would drag on the floor, and that's how I know where I'm at. You know, a blind person finds it by touching. A person with drop foot, we look at our step like that, which is wild to me, because when you walk in, you shouldn't consciously think about it.
Yeah.
But now it's like everyday thing, every second thing. Like, I have to be careful. If there's ledges, I'm like, okay, cables, I have to be careful. You know, I'm a go type of guy. So when I'm in clinic in the office, I want everybody to see I'm the hardest person working in the building. So I'm constantly going back and forward. But as I'm moving, I have to also consciously be like, hey, don't trip.
Yeah.
So it's wild. Man, the other day I tripped, man. And one thing that I found out about adulthood, falling hurts. Falling hurts, bro. Like, I fell the other day and I'm like sitting on the floor looking up and I'm like, damn, like, this shit sucked, bro. Like, I fell like this as an adult. It hurts. You know, I see my kids falling all the time. I'm like, how can you just fall and get back up?
Yeah, I know.
They
fall and they're like,
you're indestructible, man.
Yeah.
I fall. I'm down there for like 20 minutes contemplating if I want to get up or not. Just sitting there like, oh, shit. But yeah.
Well, you still do squats?
No.
Okay.
I do air squats now. So my complete training switch.
Well, that's one thing I want to talk to you about too, Crystian, because I mean, I go to the gym and I lift. I'm more like a heavy lifter.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, my friend's always telling me, you better watch out with the military.
There's a warning.
No, he said, you got to watch out with your military press, because he was like, military press, you know, even though you're sitting down, you're really compressing your back every time you go down. So I didn't even think about it. Now you're talking about that compression on your back. What are the like the main exercises that you feel like compress your back the most? The squats, the military press. I mean, I wouldn't see so much bench press because you're laying on your back, but I was just worried about other ones that could possibly.
Maybe?
Yeah, deadlifts are crucial for injuries. Squats are but flat bench is another exercise that you can do that's not really good for the body.
Really?
A lot of things I switched up, and it's very easy to answer your question by yourself. Look up every freaking bodybuilder that's out there post 10 years of lifting all these weights. Look at their bodies. They look like crap. All of them look like crap. Once they retire, they're just not looking the same. Look at Ronnie Coleman. So Ronnie Coleman actually has my condition. Yeah. He has drop foot. And I believe he has it on both feet. Damn. You know, again, compression over time.
So then how do you build chest then? If you're...
I mean, there's so much more
you can do dumbbells.
I'm a big guy when it comes to... Dumbbells are great because they're not keeping you in a static position. Yeah. But, you know, the pulley systems, man, something that's going to be low impact. And what's wild, so when I was lifting, man, I could show you guys a picture. I was a big dude. I got up to 275 pounds. Felt great. Don't get me wrong, because I was lifting.
Dude, 275?
Yeah, dude, I was a freaking tank, dude. So, I mean, it was wild. So I became a fridge, man. I just became addicted. Why? Because I would look at myself in the mirror and I wasn't satisfied who I was seeing. Because all I was focused on was on the foot. So it's crazy. My biggest shape I got in after freaking...
After dead foot?
After dead foot,
bro. Or drop foot?
Drop foot.
Holy shit.
Bro.
So how much do you weigh now?
And right now I'm on 220. So that was 275. So
Jesus
Christ, man. I became a tank. I became addicted, right? Because my mentality was...
It is addicting to do that shit.
If I'm compensated, then I want people to look at me like I'm not going to mess with that dude, right?
Yeah.
He's gimpy, bro, but I'm not going to mess with him, bro. So, and, you know, I was always make fun of myself. I was like, you know, one more rep, you know, if somebody's going to look at your foot, man, one more rep. I became obsessed with it, man, to the point where I would do things.
I saw you walking. You didn't walk with a limp or anything.
Really? Well, I appreciate that, man. That's conscious mindset, right? I'm constantly making sure people can't really tell. You know, it's a persona thing at this point, you know? It's almost becoming my brand. Now everybody knows me. Oh, the guy with the limp foot. I'm like, yeah, that's me, bro. Now I get proud of it. But before, man, when it first happened, I'm like, damn, like, you know, sometimes I would go to the gym and people only look at my foot. What's wild, man, is when you see somebody who is missing a limb, the first thing we do unconsciously is look at the limb, right? So for me, I got to see it on the other side of the table, right? I will see eyeballs no longer met my eyeballs that will meet my leg. So I shied away from it. I shied away from the gym. And then I just became super freaking addicted with it, man. To the point where it would be a bad day if I wasn't at the gym. Like I was freaking so entwined with the whole scenario that I wanted to become the biggest guy in the room because I didn't want people to look at my foot anymore.
But you can't tell if you're wearing shoes, can you?
No.
So
unless I'm wearing my athletic brace.
Well, I mean, but then it just looks like a brace for your ankle.
Yeah, and I get a lot of people, I thought that was just an ankle brace. I'm like, no, my foot's paralyzed, but thank you. Yeah.
So do you still fight? Because you mentioned you did
No,
MMA.
I don't, man. So I see it as a spectator now, which is crazy. Like, Vince, our boy, I saw him, throwing hands, man. I was like, I'm proud of that guy, man, because I know it takes a lot of balls to get in that ring, man, and do something that you want to do. But it was always a dream, man, to be able to do those kind of things, man. I always wanted to try everything. I was one of those guys that, everybody says you wear 43 hats because I wanted to try it all. My mentality is I don't want to be 60 years old and saying, it would have been cool to try that. So I'll go scuba diving, man. I'm freaking in the water with some huge sharks. People are like, why are you in there?
Fun.
Because it's cool, man. It's like, how many people can say they've been in the water with these huge sharks at 120 feet of water? Not a lot of people, bro. Not a lot of people. A lot of people are like, I ain't going there.
The deepest I've been was like, I think 25 feet.
Oh, man. Once you pass that 70 feet, man.
And you have to decompress, though, also.
Yeah. You get your safety
steps. Are you certified then?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, shit, man.
Yeah, I love diving. Diving is one of my favorite things to do, man. I think it's one of the best things money can buy.
That's what I feel too. When I tore my ACL twice, first time I was like 21, so I was obsessed with soccer. I mean, as soon as I got out of high school, I'd play soccer every fucking day. Like as soon as I got done with work, I'd go to the fields and I'd play. Yeah. And I'd do racquetball, weightlifting. I mean, I wanted to play anything that was sports because not only would it keep you in shape, but it was fun to me. So, and then I tore it the first time, the whole ACL and all shit, man. And then, I was 21. So I said, the doctor's like, hey, I hope you don't go out there and try to do anything until
you're back in the next day.
6 months. 6 months goes by and I'm like, I'm ready. Not even 5 minutes running down the soccer field, I hit a pothole, fucking tore it completely up. Damn. And the doctor goes, I hope you like playing golf, Manny, because that's all you're going to be able to play. He's like, you got no cartilage in your knee. You're completely fucking, there's no cartilage. He's like, we're going to do the ACL again, but I mean, you need to, and even with golf, with the twerking. Yeah. I mean, every single day I deal with pain in this knee and also like to keep the weight off. It used to be easy. I'll go and, play flag football or basketball, whatever. And, the weight melts off. Now it's like, I go to the gym to lift weights, but I try to do Stairmaster for 10 minutes. I'm fucking throbbing.
Pain is crazy,
yeah,
right?
Pain is crazy. It's like, I get home, but,
riding a bike.
The bike would be the thing.
Bike is great, man. Bike is great.
Yeah, my ass hurts all the time,
Just get the shorts, bro. Get the shorts. Listen, man, I did cycling too, bro, so I can tell you that's another. But right now, my addiction is pickleball, man.
Oh, damn.
Dude,
everybody's
I'm freaking addicted to pickleball, dude.
What is up with that,
dude? It's the fastest growing sport in the world.
Yes,
it's played. Over 1 billion people play it.
It's so crazy. Everybody who we've had recently has said the pickleball.
Great for marketing, bro. Great for marketing.
Which is wild is they're turning a lot of tennis courts into
pickleball courts.
Yeah, because they can fit like 2 on 1 as opposed to just having 1 tennis court.
Well, they're talking about putting that shit in the Olympics now, bro.
They should.
But it's loud as fuck.
Yeah, bro. Freaking pickleball is addicting, bro. Yeah. And a lot of people are like, oh, that's easy tennis. I'm like, get your ass, go play 4 hours real quick. We'll see how easy it is.
Yeah, you sweating.
Oh, bro, I burn quick. If I'm playing for like 2 to 4 hours, I'm burning like 1,200 calories easy.
But is it a lot of lateral movement?
It can be, but I only play doubles because of my foot. So I can only play doubles. I don't play singles. That's the only way I
would be able to play.
Bro, you'll be able to play. Bro, we'll play. We're in a small box and you'll be set, man. You'll be set. And or bring out your competitive edge.
They call it in the kitchen or some shit.
Yeah. The kitchen line and everything, bro. So that's, maybe a sport that you can get into, man. It'll be
100%, man. When we get back with Happy Hour Holidays, we'll continue with Crystian Martinez and continue to learn about his business. And we got a little piece of it. We want the whole thing. We'll be right back. We're back with Happy Hour Holidays here with the Crystian Martinez story. We're loving it, man. It's very interesting over here. So you were telling us off camera that you do a lot of scuba diving, which is, it's pretty cool with sharks. Big ass sharks and shit like that. You go pretty deep. So what got you into the scuba diving? I know you're an adventurous guy, so I was thinking that probably was part of it.
So the biggest catalyst to getting into scuba was always finding out why I had the love for the ocean. But aside from that, when I first got bit by the scuba diving bug was due to peace, man. Life above water is so loud, it's so fast-paced, it's never stopping, man. So the first time I went on the water, I was like, wait, somebody muted the world. All you can hear is the bubbles of your own air tank.
Yeah.
Like, this is different. So I fell in love with it, man. So I remember this dive like it was yesterday. So I had my certification dive. We're going into this place called Devil's Den. So we go to Devil's Den, man.
I've heard of Devil's Den, yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's outside of Mexico, right?
No, it's actually here.
It's
north
in
of
Florida,
here.
yeah, it's in
It's
Florida.
like
I've
an
seen it.
hour up from here.
Oh, fuck.
It's like a cave, right?
So yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm my certification dive, man, and this is post accident. So I'm going out there. The guy, I won't say the name of the company, they're no longer in business, man. The guy forgets that he's with a whole bunch of students, leaves me at the bottom. At this point, I was like, I don't know how to come up, man. Like, you didn't teach me nothing about how to work my equipment or nothing. What's wild is, though I was scared and I couldn't see much, I felt the most peace I ever did, man. So that was the initial kind of like, hey, man, this is kind of interesting. This is kind of fun. I don't feel like I'm freaking out. I feel like I'm at peace. So I closed my eyes, man. I closed my eyes and I just breathed for a little bit. I relaxed. I opened my eyes. I see that there was light, so I could see a flashlight in the distance, and I started swimming towards the flashlight.
At night?
Well, it's a cave, so it's pretty dark.
Yeah.
It's pretty dark in there, man. I mean, even though they have a hole in the middle where the sun shines, but there's trees everywhere, so it's pretty dark regardless of the fact. So you pretty much might call it night. So I come up, I look at the dude. I mean, he has long hairs all over his face. I'm like, dude, like, what the hell, bro? You got everybody else out here, but my punk ass still in the bottom. Like, what the fuck, bro? Like, I want to come up for air. I'm scared. So he's like, I'm sorry. I know you will be okay. It's only you can go up. I'm like, bullshit. I try to come up. I hit my head on the damn mountain. But luckily, man, I started feeling for my exit, and I was able to come out. But yeah, that was the initial thing, man. So later on, I switched shops. I became a member at Calypso Divers, man.
That's the one off of Bears and 275.
Bro, the best people ever.
Do they
man.
have a pool in there?
They do.
Oh,
They do. So you can do your intro to scuba, man.
Wow.
Don't do it, bro, if you don't want to get addicted, man. Because once you do that, you're gonna want to keep going.
Yeah.
But switched over to that shop and then started diving some cool places. Went to Miami, dove the underwater cemetery, which is by a famous
Underwater
friggin'
cemetery.
yeah, it's called Neptune Memorial Reef. Yeah, so it's a beautiful, beautiful area. It's actually an artist. I forget the name of the artist. Did all these structures on the bottom, man. You can find it on YouTube.
Was it
and stuff like that.
Banksy?
I can't remember, man, but I mean, it's beautiful under there, man. Huge barracudas, bro.
That's what I was going to tell you.
Biggest freaking barracudas I ever seen.
You read my mind. Like, how do you get past like the fear when you do like
Sharks.
yeah, like sharks or like.
Well, the
other
shark is my
things?
favorite animal, man. So I don't have a natural fear for sharks. I mean, I respect them. They're
Yeah.
a lot of people is just misinformation, man. Just
Yeah.
like anything in the world, right? Poor education results with poor, situations. Sometimes when you don't educate yourself on a certain topic, we just don't have all the information or the data that is needed to make an informed consent about what the situation may be. For us, we're afraid of sharks because all we see is shark reef. This guy, got eaten, or they're eating this. Man, I've been in the water so many times, not even one shark has come around.
They don't attack you, man, right?
No, I mean, and unless you're out there freaking shooting fish, which spear fishing is an addiction as well.
Oh yeah. Right.
Unless you're shooting fish, man, you're really probably not encountered a shark in the wild, man. It's very hard to see one.
Yeah.
I've been in the water numerous times, never came close.
What about Bimini, Bahamas? That's
I haven't
the
done
shark
Bahamas, man,
capital
and that's
of the
one of my
world,
favorite
right?
places, man.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite places. I want to dive Bahamas, man.
Because the water's only like 50 feet deep, but there's
it's
sharks
just clear,
everywhere.
man. It's
and
clear
it's
water,
clear,
clear water. So, I mean, I like to think what really brings sharks into your natural
Blood.
area is stress, right? So vibration's not even blood, man. They can
No.
smell a drop of blood a mile away, but it's the vibration, right? Because what does vibration tells you? It says something's in distress. And that's really easy pickings. It's a quick dinner. Something's distress. That's really, when you're calm, man, and I'm telling you, I've been in the water probably over 70 times. If I've seen a shark, probably a handful of times.
What's the deepest you've ever been?
127 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to come up?
So 127 feet, I spent about 20 minutes on bottom, then safety stop. So probably you want to say like a good 20 minutes.
And then you got to make sure you got enough air to do all that.
Yeah.
too.
So you calculate all of that before you go in the water, right? You go in there, you plan your dive. You say, I'm going to spend this much at this depth, and things normally, if you do your right homework, you're going to be okay. You're going to have plenty of oxygen. The lower you are, the less oxygen you have. What's crazy about scuba is with that tank, let's say you go to 100 feet. At 100 feet, you might have 5 minutes of bottom time. But when you come up to 70 feet, that same 10 minutes now duplicated. Maybe you have 20 minutes now As you come up higher, maybe you have 25 minutes. So unless you're out there huffing and puffing on your oxygen, you're going to have plenty of air. You'll probably come out with a way to surface and still have 500 to 1,000 still left in your bottle, because the higher you ascend, the more oxygen.
How much time does that equate to?
I can pretty much, on a full bottle at 120 feet to surface.
Just one, right? Not two?
Yeah, I'm diving one bottle,
Yeah.
man. I mean, I'm spending more time than I need, to be honest with you. I'm spending about 20 minutes at bottom. I mean, still coming to the surface, I still have between 500 to 1,000. So I'm really planning my dive. But I'm also cautious, right? I'm going to say, hey, something goes bad. What is my exit strategy? And that's how I take life too now, right? Like, if this starts taking a shit, how can I exit this situation with minimal, minimal chances for something bad to happen?
And do you have like backup canisters on your belt?
I don't.
No?
I don't. No, I'm going
Just
there,
in
man.
case?
My backup canister is my dive buddy, bro. So I go in there like, hey, bro, like, my shit went bad. Give me some of yours, bro. Like, we need to survive, man.
So you probably got like an additional maybe 30 minutes of air or something like
Easy,
that?
man.
Yeah.
Easy, 30
Which
minutes.
is enough.
Plenty of time. Plenty of time, man. There's been people that dive deep, man, and they're coming up with like more than half of their bottle because they've just been doing it for so long. They know how to breathe. And that's
And
the
it's
biggest
all
thing.
about
Is
being
relax.
calm, right?
Relax. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people that they go diving, they're claustrophobic, so they put that mask on and they're freaking out, or they'll see an animal that they're afraid of and they'll start freaking out and they start thrashing on the water. So every time you're doing that, you're wasting oxygen, valuable
Do
oxygen.
you have the full face mask where
I don't.
where
I
you
just
can
wear
talk?
the normal.
Oh,
No, I
okay.
wear the normal one.
You know
Those
which
are
one
dope.
I'm talking about?
Yeah,
though.
yeah. Those are dope.
Yeah,
Those
those
are
got to
dope.
be expensive as
Oh,
fuck.
they're like $1,500 for that mask. Yeah.
Are you kidding
But
me?
diving's an expensive sport. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're wanting to get a good rig, and I mean like a good
How much we
equipment,
talking?
I mean, I spent probably like 9 or 10 grand on my equipment. So
That
yeah, it's not
much?
cheap. Yeah,
Holy
it's not
fuck.
cheap.
For a metal container?
Yeah, medical container's got sacred ass
Yeah,
up on
that's
them, bro.
true.
You're like, shit.
That's true. That's
Yeah,
true.
man, I want something. I want quality
Yeah,
stuff.
don't
And
go
my life
cheap.
is in the line,
Yeah,
man.
don't go
I ain't
cheap.
skipping on the penny. We ain't buying shit off a Groupon, bro. That's for sure.
So, one question here about the canister. The can is, how thick is it? Like, let's say you hit it against a rock, it doesn't puncture.
Oh, dude,
right?
I've dropped them all the time, man.
Yeah.
So
So,
it's
like,
not
it's really thick, right?
Yeah, it's thick wall.
Like, if you're,
I mean, you're
down
talking
deep
about,
in a
we were
cave-
talking about that submarine that
Yeah.
imploded down there, man. I mean, these things are not going to, bro, you really have to do some crazy shit. A lot of people go back to the movies, oh, they're shot and they go flying.
Yeah.
It's just air escaping. Air escapes, that's it, man.
It ain't deep blue sea.
No, that is one thing I've always been fascinated with is
Do
the
it, bro.
ocean.
It's fucking fun.
Because but it's not only about how like grand how big the ocean is, but everything inside of it.
It's the unknown factor, bro.
and then the fucking like the storms that go out there.
Yeah,
Like
man.
one of my favorite things is always to watch. Like I don't know, I like survival ocean movies.
You should watch
You
Last
know?
Those are
Breath.
dope. Those are
Yeah,
dope.
dude. I'm like, oh, which one?
Last Breath. It
Last
just came
Breath.
out.
Oh, it did.
I'm going to have to watch that. I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to
Did
watch
you
that.
see the one where the lady, the chick got stuck in the storage container pregnant?
Dude, that was a wild
Well, how
movie,
crazy
bro.
was that?
Bro, the whole time I'm glued to the
I
TV.
know,
I'm
me
breathing
too.
heavy for the
Yeah.
lady, bro. Everything. I'm like, what the fuck? How you going to get out of there? Badass movie,
I know,
bro.
my wife.
That's on
Badass
Netflix.
movie. Yeah.
My wife was like,
I didn't
"Oh."
watch it because I didn't think it was going to be
You
good.
should watch
No,
it, bro.
it was good.
It was really
yeah.
good.
It's just
It was
her,
really
though.
good.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
it
the
starts
plot
off-
was crazy.
yeah,
We
it
won't
was
ruin
good.
it for you,
Yeah,
but the
yeah,
plot
please
was
don't.
like, what the
Yeah.
fuck,
No, my
bro?
wife
Everything that could go wrong went wrong for that lady.
Yeah, and then my wife was like, "This is the movie for you, Manny. Like, you're gonna love this movie." And I'm like, "How do you know?" And she's like, "It's a survival ocean movie." And you fucking, I literally go through Amazon and I look at every single survival. I even like regular survival
Yeah.
movies, but any kind of survival movies, I fucking watch them all, man.
I'm watching
just-
So you
Lost.
probably saw
You know,
four
I'm watching
Lost.
Lost. I'm behind, man. Everybody
Really?
was
I've
always
never
like,
watched
watch
it.
Lost.
I've never
never-
watched Lost
Dude, don't
either.
freaking start watching it. You won't stop.
Really?
Is
If
that
you can
good?
get past episode 2, bro, you're gonna be hooked to the point where you like start fiending to watch
How
this
many
more.
seasons are we talking about?
Bro, I'm in season 5. I don't even know how many seasons there
How
are.
many
Isn't there
episodes
like
per
10?
season?
They're like 10, 12 episodes per season.
Jesus
But isn't
Christ,
there
bro,
like 10
that's
or 12
fucking-
seasons too?
Bro, there's a lot. There's
That's
a lot.
of
There's a lot.
motherfucking watching,
Bro,
right there.
but I look at it like a podcast, right? Because I really don't have
Yeah.
the luxury to sit down and watch movies. So
Yeah.
whenever I'm doing computer work or busy work, I'll just put it on in the background and I'm listening to it. And even listening to it is interesting.
Yeah.
even listen
I've
to
been
this
wanting
interest.
to, but my wife doesn't. She's like,
Bro, you should.
yeah, now
You
I'm
should.
on 1923, so I started.
I'm about to
watching-
start
Is that
watching
good?
that.
Bro,
Is
it's
that good?
it's fucking.
Did you watch The
phenomenal.
Landsman?
The Landsman? Yeah,
Landsman,
yeah.
dude,
that was a
Landsman.
Yeah.
What the hell happened with that show? Just fell off the face of the
No,
fucking
they got
world. Is
season
it back?
two.
Yeah, they got-
Season two.
All right, I gotta hop back on
Yeah.
it.
No,
Hop back
no,
on it.
it's not out yet. It's
Okay.
It's in post production, so it's gonna come out soon.
Dude, talk about the fucking cliffhanger on that show. I'm like, what the hell, bro? You didn't let usually shows you can see when they're about to end the shit.
Yeah.
This shit just dropped. I'm
I
like,
know.
what the fuck?
I
I'm
know.
watching it with my dad. This is the first show we picked to watch together. So he calls me and we talk about the show and we're like, oh, this show is dope, bro.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Awesome, yeah.
And I don't know.
And the
We're like,
bitch is
dude,
hot.
what the fuck?
She's on 1923.
No shit.
Yeah, she's also
no
nice.
shit.
She's also
How?
on 1923.
Isn't it supposed to be like 1923 is the same as Landsman? No, 1923 is
same-
about Yellowstone.
Yeah, it's about
Yes,
Yellowstone.
Yellowstone.
Oh,
It's a playoff.
yeah,
But I
of
mean,
Yellowstone.
she's probably it's the same writer, I think,
Correct.
as Yellowstone.
Well,
So
it's
that's
also AMC, right?
yeah. So that's why they probably picked her. They were like,
Yeah,
oh,
she's
well,
a
you know.
smoke show.
Yeah, she is, bro. Yeah,
Yeah,
she is.
man.
And that show is fire.
Yeah, dude.
Fire
Dude,
show.
I like
Fire.
that one. And 1923 is.
I want to start
fucking-
watching 1923.
Bro, I'm telling you right there, like that one. Me and my wife, we've already watched all the episodes. Now we're waiting every Sunday when the new one comes out. The new one comes out.
Harrison Ford's in that one, right?
Yeah, Harrison
Yes,
Ford,
yes,
man.
yes.
Dude, that guy.
He's in everything
dude.
everything Western. He
Yeah.
has to have a part
And
in it.
I- and
It's
I'll tell
like-
you something, he's like-
Aliens and Cowboys.
yeah.
He looks like he's like 75,
He
70.
guy's
is,
older
bro.
than
He's got to
dirt.
be like in his 80s.
Bro, this
Yeah.
guy has never retired from acting. He has
That's
steadily loved to act. I
And he's always consistent too.
Oh,
man.
he's
He's
good.
always a great actor,
Oh,
no matter
yeah.
which part he plays. You know exactly where you're gonna get.
Yeah.
The guy's just really good at his
Except
craft.
maybe Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
You didn't like it?
I liked it.
I liked it, dude.
Which
I have to disagree,
I mean,
bro. I was into it.
I like
I
Shia
did.
LaBeouf in it,
I really liked
but
that
I
one.
thought the storyline was so stupid, man.
Yeah, because I
It's
always
hard to
believe it's a
come up.
play on the actual original.
Yeah,
I'm a
with the-
'90s kid, so I always go back to oh my god, here's the original.
Yeah,
Let me
the
watch.
original.
Oh, it's never good as the original.
Well, I mean, this
Yeah.
is what I'm saying. If they never found the crystal skull and they just let the Nazi or it was the Russians find the crystal skull, the Russians would have died and the kingdom would have already.
Dude, you ruined it for me. I never saw it. Now I'm just fucking with you.
No, like,
you
think
just
about
ruined
it.
it for somebody.
No, but think about it. They would have found it. They would have returned it, and she would have asked the same question.
for sure.
And I mean, it got wiped off the face
Yep.
of the map. Except now they got to figure out a way to get home because they're left in the top of the mountain in the Amazon jungle.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, his entire part in that entire story made no sense. It's like,
You're
yo,
like,
just-
he's just fucking present.
that's really what it is.
We just needed him so the movie could be good. That's
Yeah.
all it is. It's
And there's-
ticket sales,
yeah,
bro.
And there's an Indiana Jones 6 coming out.
No, the one.
When
I
are
already
they
seen
gonna
that
drop
one.
that shit? I'm like, dude, how many?
Bro, they
fucking
make
Indianas
they
can
make
you
close to $1 billion every single
The
time.
thing is
wild,
that the
yeah.
thing is that
Kinda
they
like
don't make
Transformers.
movies like Indiana Jones, The Mummy,
Yes.
like all the shows that come out now, or movies. I mean, for me,
Yeah.
there are a lot of like sequels to like.
Yeah.
Come on, bro, like really, or they don't make anything creative like
Correct.
that.
I mean,
I
I
agree.
was watching last night Death on the Nile. That's a
Haven't
pretty
seen that
creative
one.
one.
Oh.
Glass Onion or Knives Out Glass Onion. That's also a good one. Daniel Craig movie. I mean, they're murder mysteries.
Okay,
That's what they are.
I like murder mysteries. Yeah, those are
And,
dope. But then I try to figure the shit out before it actually happens, bro. I'm like, what
Yeah.
the fuck, bro? Just leave the show play out. I'm over here like, well, if he would have done that, then maybe that's the motherfucker. Maybe that's him.
But that's the fun part about it because then at the end of the movie, your guess could be right or it could be wrong.
Right.
You're like, fuck,
It's like
what did I
that board
miss?
game. What's the
Monopoly.
No.
Clue.
Yeah.
Bro, I
I
love
like
that
one.
shit
Me
fucking
too.
game. It's
my,
fun.
my parents, we used to play that as a family all the time. That
yeah,
was
that's a
fun-
dope. That's a
yeah.
dope game. That's
I
a very
enjoyed that.
dope game.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Manny in the library with a wrench.
You were always the killer. Fuck, he has the better here. He's the fuck. That's
was
awesome,
me.
bro. Definitely.
No, yeah. Well, what else do you like to do on your spare time, Christian?
Spare
Like,
time, man. Again, bro. Like,
You like motivational?
I do like motivational speaking, man.
Who's your favorite motivational speaker? I'm with my brother because we were listening to this guy,
Les
Les Brown.
Les Brown is
Yeah,
good.
Les Brown,
Les Brown.
man. I mean, I like Eric Thomas too.
Eric Thomas is my guy, man. Eric
Yeah.
Thomas is what made me fall in love with motivational speaker because I like his story, right?
Yeah.
His story is not only is it inspirational,
real quick.
well, being a homeless guy, and not really amounting to a lot of things that he tried to do, I see a lot of myself within him. I've tried a lot of things, gentlemen. I've tried a lot. And whether I quit the situation or whether I just failed, I saw myself meeting resistance in everything I tried. Sometimes you might have the right mindset in this retrospect for the metaphor, the right vehicle, just in the right zoning. And for me, that was it. right? I was always trying to do something that maybe I didn't have a lot of knowledge in, or I didn't have the passion for it. So Eric was a lot of the same thing, you know, being homeless, not having a lot of people vouch for him because, you know, nothing worked out
His
for him.
mom kicking him out.
Yeah, man. And I mean,
which might have been the best thing to happen to him, in my opinion.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I believe hard times calluses you, man, and it makes you be the better man in tomorrow. And you know, now he's a very educated man.
Yeah,
He's
call him
one of-
E.T.
Yeah, bro, the dude is crazy with it, man. Crazy with it. I mean, but I love motivational speaking, man. I actually, that's one of my goals in life that I hope to have the blessing and privilege to do, is to be able to speak to people, you know, because I just love to motivate people. But my new life is different, man. I utilize God as my foundation, man. You know, I gave my life to God in November of 24. I'm not a perfect man. I would never claim to be perfect. But I just know that I'm thankful for God Almighty because he gave me the life that I have today. I'm here because of his blessing and his forgiveness, and I'm able to catalyze myself forward, whether in business or personally, because of his grace and glory.
How old are you?
I'm 34 today.
34?
34
yeah,
today.
you're the youngest one in the room.
34 today. How about you, John?
37.
37?
36.
Yeah,
36. So
yeah,
we're all
Yeah,
around
he's
the
like,
same.
no, I don't know if I am or not.
Yeah, I forget my age all
I
the time.
forget
It's cool.
36,
It's cool.
37.
So, I mean, you've gone through a lot already.
I definitely have.
I mean, shit, dude. So then what inspired you to start Inertia and move it forward? You said it only started 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, 4 weeks. So it's been in the works for about 5 years, man. 5 years. It was always something, you know, and my wife at the time, I always used to tell her, I was like, listen, we're working hard, making somebody wealthy. Why not do this for ourselves? And it was always that resistance. We would meet resistance. Every time we try to do something to progress forward, it was like, hey, maybe it's not the right time. And essentially, man, I just got tired of saying it's not the right time, because it will never be the right time.
That's
a lot of people
ET
like to say,
there.
yeah, a lot of people say,
It will
oh,
never
you
be the right
can have a baby. You're not ready to have a baby. You can never be ready to have a baby.
Never.
With business, you're never ready to have a business. It sucks, bro. I'll be honest with you. It's very freaking hard. I wake up every day scared and I go to bed scared, but I go to bed and wake up hopeful that things will turn out right? Because if we keep that, I guess that dagger in the back to say, listen, man, if you lax off, you're not really gonna make it. If you just back up a little bit, you're not really gonna do it. A buddy of mine,
That's a fact, actually.
Yeah, man, and it's wild, man. You can't let go, man.
And they do it with a family too. I mean, I could never imagine starting, our business when we have a wife, kids. I mean, there's no.
Well, what's crazy, bro? It's throughout the building of my clinic, man, I went through a divorce.
Oh, shit.
So everything went bad, bro. When I tell you, like, everything went bad, I was going through a divorce, unexpected divorce to my best friend, man. The builder was just not working out for us. The licensing, builder? The contractor. It was just, it was always more money.
You were building a house or the
office itself. So then my
you
father
bought the property.
No, so we rent the space, but it was a blank space. So we had to build out all the rooms, man. Yeah. Our building looked like it was stuck in that 70s show, man, with an old shag carpet, freaking laminate flooring. It looked terrible, dude. Terrible. I was like, oh, man, you really got to see the vision. It's almost like when you guys look at a house, like a wholesale property, and you're like, oh, man, we're really going to take one in the chin this time. And then out of nowhere, people start putting money into it. And you're like, that's not the same house. That's how I feel when I go to my clinic. That's everybody's comment. Like, wow, man, like it looks beautiful. It's different in here. And that's my pride and joy, man. Like I spend every dollar possible to make people feel good, but also for us to feel that pride of going into the building and saying, this is our home. This is where we want people to feel good in. So yeah, man, everything throughout the building, it was very difficult. It was very hard. Going through a divorce was probably borderline. You
had what, 2 or 3 kids, or yeah?
2 kids. We have a 13-year-old and a 4-year-old, man. So
damn,
it was hard, man. It was hard.
With the ex-wife, right?
With the ex-wife, yeah.
But that was at the time. The kids were 13 and 4 at that time.
Yeah. So my divorce happened very recent, man. We're talking about 7-8 months ago.
Holy shit!
Oh, yeah, wow. So very recent, man.
All this is recent.
Yeah, man. A lot of the situations that had molded the person I am today has been through these things. They had calloused me, man. So went through divorce. Pushing forward hard, man. Everything I push forward, I meet resistance. So what's crazy, man, is the initial plan for the business was for my wife. I didn't want her to be an employee anymore. I believed in her so much that I would say, hey, listen, I'm willing to do everything and anything possible to give you what you deserve, because you're not a number. You're a person that does it all, and I want you to have that glory and have something that's yours. So throughout the process, don't know what happened, man. We just we pulled distance out of nowhere. We separated, we divorced, and I'm sitting there to this day, man. I'm luckily enough, I have a lot of people helping me, but a lot of the stuff that I do on a day-to-day operation is learned either on the spot or from general knowledge, or I phone my wife, man, my ex-wife. I'm like, hey, this is what we're doing. I'm struggling with this. How would you go about this? Or can you help me with this, man? And
So
sometimes
she's still involved in the business.
she's not involved, but she's more than willing to help me. So
Like an advisor almost.
Yeah, as an advisor, she consults. I mean,
Well, at least it's like a mutual. It's not like a nasty one, you know.
Nah, man. I mean,
that would suck, man.
Listen, man.
You know,
The person I was pre-baptism, man, would have been that guy that everybody would expect. That macho man, like, nah, fuck that. Like, you did me dirty. Like, no. That person died in that tank, man.
Yeah.
I look at life different, man. How can I judge somebody when I went and met my maker and I said, hey, man, I want you to take me in and I want you to accept me? You know, when I truly met God, God meets you for who you are, bro. And I don't bring a lot of biblical factors into my life, but when there is credit to be due, man, I tell people it's the reason I'm here is because of him. But aside from that, I'm able to look at everybody. Don't matter what you did in the past, man. I respect and love you no matter what, because I met judgment and I was like, hey, man, I want to be with you. I want to ride with you. Help me be a better person. And you can't be a Christian on a Sunday and be a thug on a Monday. That ain't gonna fly, bro. A lot of people, my pastor say, yo, Pastor Q, shout out to Pastor Q at the chapel in Trinity, man. This dude's so dope. This dude puts it how it is, man. That's why I found God, because of him. Man, this guy says, listen, you can't feed two masters, right? You can't say I'm for God and then on Monday you're out there freaking doing the devil's work and trying to do all these things. It's never gonna fly, man. But when you are humbled enough to say, hey, I'm not gonna be perfect, I just want to be realistic in life and push out that light, man, it's different, man. I look at my ex-wife and I'm like, hey, listen, I'm appreciative of everything you did for my life.
Yeah.
I'm thankful. Thank you for helping me. Her boyfriend, I give him a hug. I put out good, man. And it's different, man. When you become a man of God, your life completely changes. Yeah. It's like a complete 180, man.
And I'll tell you something. I've been when I go home from the gym, you know, I go, you know, try to go 4 days a week, but I have Joel Osteen. So he's motivational and he's a preacher or a priest or whatever, you know. So I listen. He has a topic about, you know, what he's talking about. And everything that he says in it, man, it's like if I'm having this situational day, I look at all his videos and I'll find one that, you know, they're 30 minutes long, but I find one that is kind of matching that resonates. Congruent or resonates with what I have. And it just helps me so much.
Definitely.
And it's only, I mean, it's a 15-minute ride. So I get through 15 minutes every day, but he starts off with something funny. He tells you, you know, certain situations with the Bible, and it just like relates to me perfectly. And I don't go anywhere, but it really, this is my 15 minutes of, you know, God.
Listen, man, and that's a beautiful thing. The fact that you're conscious enough to say, listen, and this is the cool thing about Christianity or God or church. Yeah. Church is everywhere you go. Yeah. Like churches right now. So the beautiful thing about that is that you're actually willing and able to do something that most men are not, because we're so prideful as human beings that we like to be macho. Machismo is the catalyst to all evil. And when all evil presents, you're nothing but death walking in this spirited world. Because if you cannot kneel before God, your maker, the man that put you on this earth, who are you as a man? Listen, I'd rather follow the guy that kneels before Christ each and any day into any battle than the man that's sitting there freaking taking pictures with popping bottles left and right, which is so cool. I do it. But who are we going to follow? Where are we going? At the end of the day, everybody falls in a hole. Are you going to go with the guy who made you, or are you going to go with the guy who's trying to burn you? Yeah. I choose different, man. I choose light above all, man. And, you know, if it makes me less friends, so be it. I'll be lonely. I got God Almighty, bro. If it makes me cool because people are like, hey, that guy's tatted up. He comes from, I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, man. I come from the hood. I come from the hood. My father, one of the scariest guys ever to walk the face of this planet. This guy kneels before God. I actually just posted him this previous Sunday on his knees crying before God. This is a guy who has done some crazy shit in his life. This guy still kneels before Christ, man. So to me, that's like the epitome of like, wow, that's different, bro. That's a real man, bro.
As well said as you could, Crystian, man. It is tough, man. But when we get back with Happy Hour Holidays, we'll continue with Crystian Martinez. Thank you all for tuning in. Like, comment, and subscribe. All right, guys, and we're back with Happy Hour Holidays, and we're kind of talking a little bit about what's going on now with the tariffs and the imports and stuff. And you had brought up a good point, you know, about the Miami being one of the largest, and, you know, Florida being GDP-wise, the fifth largest, could be the fifth largest country in the world.
I think it's more around 8. I think California is 5th. But yet, California is broke. And Florida...
broke.
They're broke. They're broke.
I went to California the other day. I'm like, damn, y'all broke?
The government is broke. And the Florida government has a surplus in spending. They have such a surplus in spending that Governor DeSantis issued $493 million back to the federal government in unused funds, because that is how much money Florida makes. Florida's main economic source is tourism. That is literally a fact. It's tourism. And that is what allows us, because it's not just people from the United States coming to Florida. It's people from Europe. It's people from Africa. It's people from Russia. It's people from Australia. Bro, I don't know how many times I've been to the Salt Shack right there off of West Shore and Gandy, and I've had a conversation with a European. And they're like, oh, man, you Americans are stupid. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And then I had to school him on some history. He was like, okay, you're one of the few. And I'm like, no, that's just...
You're like, I got this shit.
I got this shit.
State of Florida, I got this.
I got this. Well, I went to college. I took a lot of courses, and, I'm fucking 6 or 7 classes away from bachelor's degree in engineering. I took all that shit during HCC. And what I tend to learn is that people that come to Florida, it's mainly tourism. It is literally our economic backbone. And having Disney in Orlando, that's the hub right there. But
Agreed.
then you have a different kind of tourism, which is like spring break in Miami, Panama City, which is up in the Panhandle.
The beaches.
The beaches, Clearwater, #1 beach in the entire fucking world. Don't ask me why. I don't think
I was about to say, bro. That's
voted by TripAdvisor. By
Yeah,
TripAdvisor.
but
They voted
TripAdvisor,
it
I
on-
wouldn't say Clearwater has number
That's
one.
what
bro,
they
in the
say.
world, because then
That's
you
what
go out
they
there, you're like,
say.
I can't even see my toes in
Right,
this water, and I'm an
exactly.
inch underwater.
That's why I say, or maybe not in the world, maybe in the U.S., it's TripAdvisor, right? If you want to visit any beach in all the United States, where are you going to go? They suggest Clearwater, then they suggest somewhere out in California, then they suggest Miami, then they suggest Panama City. But I mean, that is the kind of economy that is being brought into Florida. And what we see is maybe an elimination of the tax or of the property tax. You may consider as, oh, they're going to put it somewhere else. But our sales tax has dropped year over year.
Yeah.
I mean, now they're talking about bringing it down to like 6.5%. Right now it's 7%, at least in Hillsborough. And when it got risen to 8% like 4 years ago, and it came back down.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I don't see how tariffs are going to influence at least the economy of Florida.
I mean, I'll be happy if DeSantis decides to take off these tolls, man. Because if I can't go 5 miles without hitting a toll, we got a problem.
I mean, you've already
Like,
paid
why?
that road 10 times over.
Bro, and it's like,
Get
oh,
rid
you're
of-
still paying for the highways.
No.
Fucking that highway's beautiful, bro.
I know.
Well, that's
like-
what they said. They go, well,
Well, that's because we're
The maintenance
the
is still-
maintenance.
well, I mean, the tolls is a way to supplement some of these taxes that are being eliminated, but the tolls have always been there. I
Yeah,
mean,
they've
like,
been
if you talk
superseded
about the
time and time
veterans-
again.
Yeah.
If you go down the Veterans tolls, if you go down the Crosstown tolls, if you go down the Selman tolls, and now they got a toll across the Howard Franklin
Yeah.
that just opened like 3 days
Yeah.
ago.
You know what's funny? Because we mentioned California. I just spent some time in San Diego, California,
Well, I
probably
heard
a
that
few
place
months
is
ago.
beautiful.
Oh my
I've never
God, bro!
been,
I'm
but I've heard that out
addicted.
of all the places, San Diego's the best one.
Brother, I'm addicted, man. I honestly tell you, I called my parents while I was in San Diego. I'm like, I might not come back. If it wasn't for my kids, I would have stayed out there. They're like, oh, it's expensive. Yeah, bro, but look at the type of quality of life you're having out there, man. Everybody was happy. I didn't meet one pissed off individual while I was out there, and I traveled the whole San Diego area, man. I was out there eating the food, hanging out with the locals, man. I was in all the beaches, everything. Gorgeous, bro. Spot clean. I was like, wait, I don't see trash on the floor, man.
That ain't
Like,
San Francisco. That's San Diego.
man. San Diego, clean. Right? You could eat off the floor. And I'm telling you, I traveled all over it. Beautiful, clean, no tolls. I saw one toll the entire freaking week I was there. I'm like, bro, that's just to make it to LA. That's the only toll that's
there's your
out there.
toll.
I was like, so it makes me question Florida. Like, what is really your significant background to kind of say this is the reason why we have the tolls?
So the reason there's tolls is because the state of Florida doesn't pay for the veterans. It's the Florida Highway Authority.
Mhm.
And those are the ones that are paying for the road. And then in jest, the state says, okay, we're going to let you buy all this right away, build a road, build an expressway, and then you're going to have to pay us money because we got to pay for the road that we let the Florida Highway Authority build through those right-of-ways. And I guess it makes sense, but at some point, the road's paid for.
Yeah.
Why continue to have those tolls? Because the veterans, bro, it's been there since fuck, I could
I can
drive.
Yeah, but
remember, bro.
they're still
Yeah.
extending out to it. If you go all the way down,
Yeah, like Brooksville, they're still pushing
yeah,
past
I know
it.
they're still. But
Even
I mean,
all the way up to Lecanto?
Yeah,
Where
man.
you like to go?
Yeah, bro. Like, when I go to Lecanto, bro, I'm literally I hit a toll a mile before I get off the last stop. Literally, the last stop of the veterans. I'm
Yeah.
like, this is some bullshit, bro.
Yeah.
I'm paying even to go out here when nobody wants to be.
But there's an alternative. You could take 275 to 75 and drive
I'll
all
pay
the
the
way
toll.
up there.
Yeah,
There you go.
I'll pay the toll.
See, so they
Convenience
know-
cost.
They know,
Convenience.
they know you got.
Fuck, I just ruined my own freaking argument. I'll pay the convenience factor,
but
bro.
I'll
Because
rather,
you could also take 41. So.
I'd rather
Or
pay the
19,
tolls
my
than
bad.
property taxes.
All day.
day.
Oh, yeah,
all
for sure.
day.
For
All
sure.
day,
Yeah, I'd
man.
rather be like, all right, fuck, I'll pay the dollar or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Well, now it's probably more. I think.
I owe those fools $1,500 that I do by the end of today.
Oh,
No, what? For tolls?
Bro, I owe so much tolls.
You don't have a sun pass?
Bro, I do, but I think I guess it didn't work, bro, because I got hit with this big check.
I'll
I'm
tell
like,
you something.
oh,
Be careful
shit.
with that shit because they will suspend your license.
Yeah, they
I
do.
went
That's
through-
they called me yesterday.
Yeah, I went through it when I was younger. I'd be like, oh fuck it, I'll just take the toll, and then all of a sudden, I got freaking lucky, man. I got saved, by God for that day because I literally was working for one of the pesticide companies that spray the grass.
Yeah.
And I was doing sales. I wasn't doing the spraying, but I was doing the sales. And the guy, the cop pulls me over. He's like, you have a suspended license. I was like, there's no way. How do I have a suspended license?
Me once too.
And he goes, I got to take you to jail because it's a suspended license.
Oh, damn, bro.
Yeah, they take you to jail. If you have a suspended license, you go to jail.
Bro, I'm too pretty to be in jail, bro. I have a boyfriend, bro. I can't go to jail, bro.
Yeah, so-
that's some scary shit.
That's not always true.
No, well, they let he says, look, I'm gonna let you drive to this gas station and then have somebody pick you up. And
Can you
I'll-
imagine that bullshit conversation? What you ain't here for, bro? I didn't pay my tolls, bro. What you in here for? Bro, I just shot somebody. Fuck!
No, man. That would be.
You don't remember the time where you had to drive all the way to Orlando when I was dropping posts for OfferPad?
Yeah,
And they said I had a suspended license because I didn't pay a traffic ticket.
yeah.
Turned out I did pay the traffic ticket. He took me all the way to Pinellas and fuck you, Pinellas County.
Oh, man, that's the
Because,
worst, bro.
I
That's
paid
gotta
it.
fuck
I
you
paid
over.
it. They said I did not pay it. I showed the officer on my phone because you can go to Pinellas County Clerk of Circuit Court and show them, hey, listen, the fine I paid, and I paid it on time and everything. And they're like, yeah, but we still can't let you drive. So I had to park the vehicle on a driveway where I was dropping a post, and then he picked me up, drove all the way to Pinellas. Pinellas said, oh, fuck, we did fuck up. Then I had to drive all the way back to Orlando, show them, and they were like, yeah, now it's lifted. It's like, are you fucking kidding me,
Damn,
man?
yeah. It's wild,
That
bro.
was
And I will
weird,
tell you, I'm going to be a huge
your
advocate for
tolls.
this. Bus stops. I just received the ticket. Now bus stops have cameras installed, the buses.
Yeah.
Bro, but it's weird. They're in the complete, it's a 2-lane freaking road.
School bus or?
Yeah, the school bus, bro.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
in the complete opposite road.
And if you
A
pull-
freaking big ass
Yeah.
median.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm in the other side. I'm like, no freaking bratty ass kid is gonna cross this street. There's no
I
way.
didn't know that because
Yeah,
I usually
Bro,
think it's only the
if
one
you don't
lane.
stop,
Flor-
they hit you with a ticket.
Yeah.
They got to my house. $255 fucking dollars.
Florida started doing that this year.
Bro, I was like, you know how many years I've been driving? I'm in the complete opposite side. There's no way a kid is gonna pass this major highway.
Yeah.
It happened right there on freaking Memorial, bro. Freaking right by Cedar, or some shit, man. The bus on that other
Rocky
side.
Point.
Everybody's going, bro. I'm telling you, the cops made some serious
250,
dough that day, bro.
250, 250,
Bro,
250.
there was at least 20, 30 cars that kept going because we didn't know this shit, right? We never had to stop for a bus that's in the complete opposite side.
I never heard
That
that.
happened
either.
this year.
Bro, they hit
That-
me with a $255 ticket.
Yep.
Ticket
Now,
clinic.
bro, no, I pay that
clinic.
shit, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, sometimes,
The red light
my
camera.
life is so busy at this point in life. I was like, fuck it, I'm paying this shit, bro. I paid it real quick. But yeah, bro, now you get ticketed. So now I'm pissing people off behind me. I'm like, honk all you want or you get your $255, bro, because I'm staying right here.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah,
didn't.
dude.
That was a good thing you said that.
They,
because
they stopped doing that because there was a lot of, I call them pedestrians, but students on Bush that were getting hit by cars.
And I can see that, but what
Like killed.
was worrisome, I
Killed.
was like, you're in the other side. Like,
Mm.
yeah, I always slow down and be cautious because,
don't give a
but
fuck.
no kid is gonna cross that damn street. But yeah, still $255, bro.
Yeah.
That shit hurt.
It was like the red light cameras, man. When that shit first came out, I was like, bro, how can you snap a
I know
picture
where
of
they're
it?
Bro,
all
I was
at.
in the fire department when that shit play full effect. We were going to accidents left and right because people will freak out in the middle of the intersection.
And stop.
Bro, they will slam on their fucking brakes. Out of nowhere, you got another car just
Oh, really?
bashing
shit.
through them, bro.
So what did
So-
they did away with them, right? Or no, they
A lot
still-
of places have. A lot of places
Yeah.
have. Apparently, the city of Tampa doesn't mess with them as much anymore. But There's a few still out there.
Because I know that you could still see them up there, but someone might not be functional.
I think
They still scare the shit out of me, bro. I still slow down for
Yeah, I
them.
know. I do too.
Well,
I'm stopping.
anytime I'm crossing if I'm crossing Nebraska or Florida, I'll look ahead on the left side to see if there's those red light cams because they're on the
I know
sides of
the
the
street.
road. So then I'm like, I think there's one on Fletcher, and I'll look. I'll just be like, okay, it is this road.
Yeah.
And then I think there's one also on Fowler on Nebraska and Fowler.
There's one on Fowler, Nebraska.
Yeah.
So I pass that fucker every morning. We
Yeah.
have conversations. I'm running late to a meeting. I'm like, oh, fuck. Are you yellow?
Yeah.
No!
But see, even yellow freaks me the fuck out
Yeah, bro.
because
It's a
yellow, you're
ticket.
supposed to be all right,
Yeah.
but you're not.
Nah, bro. And I'm always, if my front tires pass this fucking line, I'm going to be good.
Nope.
I still get hit with them, bro.
And then that goes to what you're saying. People slam on the brakes because they don't want that ticket, and then maybe get rear-ended.
Yeah, because the person behind you might be like, fuck it, I'm going, bro. Let's go. Yeah. Yeah,
That's
bro,
like-
there's a lot.
that's like that-
And then I get happy because I'm like, bro, this sounds messed up, bro, but having a personal injury medical clinic, rainy days are great, and red light cameras are great for me, bro. Like, I need this to stay around, bro, because as long as there's people freaking out behind the wheel, I'm going to be in business, bro. So, sorry, not sorry, bro.
I know, and I'm always like crazy. Like you're like you see it's about to be red, and then you get the guy behind you. Take it to. You're like, holy shit, he took it.
And you know that fucker was ready, bro.
I was like, that was
bro,
red.
I was already drowning. Your ass dead.
Yeah, I'm always
Yeah.
like,
That's
That's
funny
funny,
you
bro.
say that because I do that sometimes on a yellow light, and then it turns red as I'm crossing the stop bar and I'm going across the intersection, and this guy just follows me. I'm like, whoa.
Bro, you know what's funny, bro? And I never thought this shit would happen to me. So you know how it says one vehicle at a time, the fucking lift and post shit?
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm going to my buddy's house. He lives out
Like a
there in
gated
Racetrack
community?
Road.
Is that what-
Yeah, bro.
That's
So
been our
it says
biggest
one vehicle
problem.
at a time, bro. I'm like, I'm Puerto Rican, bro. I don't listen to that shit. One means 30, bro. So I'm following my boy, and we're about to go play pickleball. We're excited, bro. That shit slammed on top of my head, bro. Scratched my entire hood.
Damn, that happened to you.
That happened to me. When
Bro,
we used
scratching
to
my
take
shit.
pictures, we're like, I'm like, bro, this lady isn't picking up.
I was
She
like,
forgot
just
to give me
go.
the gate code, and then we're like, all right, fuck it, let's go. And then all of a sudden, here, oh my hood, and I got a truck, and I'm like, oh my god.
Hey,
My
that
brother-
wasn't too bad though, right?
My brother was like, go.
That's what I said, bro.
I
You
mean,
fix it,
It
put those.
was my fault.
I was like, nah,
saying-
bro, because that shit's going down too quick.
And I was like, no, look at it, man. What if somebody has a trailer? It's not going down. No, that shit
Nah,
went
bro,
down.
that shit goes
That
down.
shit
It goes
went
down hard, bro.
Yeah,
That
that
shit
went
fucked
down.
my truck
Our
up.
neighborhood is having the same issue. Like everybody, that's the one that snaps. So
Uh-huh.
they just like kind of snap open, and if somebody hits it instead of like breaking. So, but yeah, they've been battling. Like, okay, we're gonna close the gates and we're gonna have these things. When I first moved there, it was like, oh, we only have these things. The gate's always open. But now it's like,
It's not my neighborhood.
so now it's like, all right, well, I gotta wait here. The thing blinks, then the gate opens, then that shit fucking pops up.
Damn, bro, you bringing a snacker with you, bro?
I
Like, that's a
know.
lot of movement,
I
bro.
know, bro. I'm like,
Chowing or
and
something,
that,
bro.
that place is there's a lot of houses in there, so I mean it's a busy freaking.
Well,
You
you know
know.
how they can get away with that is just leave it open during the day, during business hours,
Exactly.
where there's fucking people that are servicing
Yeah,
lawns.
but there could be people that are
But I tell
at
you
the
what,
same
bro, how many
time-
veterans do we have sitting out in the streets not being able to do anything? You got a problem with people you want to keep your community safe? Hire those people. Put them out there.
The problem is what they're going digital or over the phone, where you push the keypad, and then you get a over the air person answering. Oh, where are you going?
That's what I
Show
got
me your
now.
ID and all this bullshit. Yeah, and my neighborhood now has that too.
Yeah.
But during the day, my neighborhood is just wide open.
We'll meet at my house, bro. I'm not dealing with all that bullshit, bro. I live in the hood, bro. Come on. Everybody in the mother coming in. Yeah, I'm not doing that, man. It's cool. I love those type of neighborhoods because they are beautiful. They're aesthetically pleasing and stuff like that. But to me, it's like, fuck, bro. Like, whoever wants to get in, it's going to get in. You know what's funny? I saw one of those gates the other
That's
day.
true. Whoever wants to get in,
Bro, they're gonna
will.
get in,
yeah,
bro. They're gonna get in.
eventually.
What's crazy is I went to a neighborhood. I have a huge saltwater fish tank. Again, my love for the ocean. Like I have a freaking coral
That was
reef.
my
in
dad too. He had a massive one.
bro, I'll show you my tank. You'll be like, what?
He had it in a wall where
Yeah.
you could see it from both sides.
Yeah, that's my tank, bro.
Oh,
I'll show you.
shit.
But anyways, I'm going to go pick up some coral, bro. So they have the gate, beautiful, cool, dandy, safe, right? Then you look to the left about 5 feet. It's just a bush. I'm like, my son can jump this thing, bro. Like, what are you keeping away? Like, what's the point of this punk
You're
ass
right.
tube, bro?
No, you're right.
Yeah,
So,
like,
well, the one point is that it adds value to the neighborhood because now it becomes semi-private.
It's my
Yeah.
wife. My wife's like, oh, gated neighborhoods. I'm like, bro, people are gonna be able to get it.
Well, there's
Yeah.
obviously not enough Puerto Ricans and Cuban around, bro. If they cross the fucking water, bro, they'll cross that
There you
gate.
go.
They'll cross
Not
that
to
shit.
mention, we got our own little security system.
Yeah, I mean, it's in front of my house, man. You can play at your own risk. You come in, bro. Once you cross that door, man. As a matter of fact, I'll unlock it for you.
Actually, talking about guns here, you told us off air that you're an avid gun owner and
Yes,
shooter. And
yes.
you shot up to 1,000 yards.
1,000
bro.
yards, man. Just very
What
recently,
was your
about a
spread
year.
like?
Oh man, I want to say I hit a 3x3 plate. So at 1,000 yards, a 3x3 plate is pretty small, man. So
3
you're
inches
thinking,
by 3?
3 feet, 3 feet by 3 feet. But 1,000 yards, man, hitting in such a tight grouping, man, it was pretty awesome to get out and touch something like that, because not a lot of people can put a gun in their hand and says you're 1,000 yards,
What
man.
kind of rifle do you have?
I shoot a Tika Tactical, man. So a Tika Tactical is a 6.5 Creedmoor. It's a flat shooting round. It's one of the best rounds in my opinion.
Caliber?
Yeah. It's a beast, bro.
So
It's a beast.
what's the caliber?
6.5 Creedmoor.
I don't know what the fuck.
It's about yay big, man.
I got a
but
30
packs a punch.
6. I mean,
Nah, man, 6.5 Creedmoor, man.
It's
That was
bigger?
Super Seed. It's not only bigger, man. That thing just flies fast, man. It flies flat and fast. It hits the target at 1,000 yards. You're hitting in about 2 to 3 seconds. So it was a pretty fun shot, man.
shit, man.
Yeah, so you're talking about 2 to 3 shots at 1,000 yards, bro. That's freaking lightning.
Is that
fast.
out of Mayaca?
That was in Lecanto.
Lecanto's got 1,000 yard range.
Yeah, they do. They have a
You wanna
an
shout out the
800.
range?
They have an 800. They build 1,000. There's talks of being a 2,000 yard range. We'll see. But it'll be fun, man. It'll be fun.
I mean, the furthest I ever shot was 100 yards at Shooters World off of Fletcher in 275. And I used to be a member there.
Uh-huh.
And my spread was like this big. So like a
100
diameter
yards?
of like 100 yards.
You
yeah.
teach me golf, I'll teach you shooting.
Wait, so you're better than that. You're more like this.
I mean, I
at
can show
100?
you, bro. I'm probably at 100 yards, bro. I'm taking out a quarter,
Well, what
bro.
kind of scope do you have?
I have a vortex, yeah.
So, I
vortex.
mean, you can see the target no
Oh,
problem.
yeah.
That's
But what's
fine.
crazy
There you go.
about shooting, man, is
So
like,
what's the magnification times?
I mean, I can go 53 times the magnification, but what's
Oh, I'm
funny
at
is
3 times, bro. I
when
mean,
you
like,
talk
come
to
on.
an avid shooter, bro, there's no way you're not magnifying that, right? You want to see the trajectory around. Actually, a buddy of mine in the fire department was a sniper in the army, man. This guy's
He taught you?
he kind of worked me up into being okay with shooting further on a distance because you want to follow trajectory. So I was always zooming out and letting that thing fly, man, and just watching how it does, man. And it's a beautiful, scenario to see an actual round hit impact. And when you can track it from the point of shot to point of impact, is a sexy beast, man.
Holy fuck.
So when I shot my big board not too long ago, last year, I went on a boar hunt, man, and actually started implementing those things, man, and seeing that thing go down, I was like, oh, man, that's a drug, man. Because when you're up close, you don't see nothing else.
Yeah.
When you're far away and you start seeing that thing fly and smack, you're like, fuck.
So are you dialing in your scope dependent
Yeah.
on the wind?
Wind, humidity, temperature,
Oh,
the Coriolis
shit,
effect.
you're-
There's a lot of math to it, but as engineers, you guys are
Yeah,
used to
yeah,
math
yeah.
and shit like that. So that was a cool factor, right? I suck at adding 2 and 2 together, but you put a rifle in my hand and I gotta, do some math to try to get the best point of impact, bro. That to me is fun. That to me is fun, man. Yeah, but it's just math. What's crazy about math, I believe the U.S. school system has set up our kids or ourselves up for failure because they don't really teach real life, right? If you
No,
want to teach a kid real math, start teaching them about how to manage money.
Yes,
Right?
thank you.
How do you money manage
How the
in the real world? Why are we not teaching this shit to
Why?
kids? Why? I'll give you the answer.
They
We
want
need employees.
Yeah.
We
Yes,
need employees.
yeah.
We need employees. As a business owner, I get it. I need somebody who's maybe not a studious to create a business, but I need somebody who's really good at catalyzing my business forward by being able to do these things to advocate for themselves to be able to create a financial future. Yes, I want to compensate them properly, but how can I do that in order to keep that employee being my employee and not saying, hey, I want to be like you, boss, let me do it, which everybody can do it, man. Last year I was an employee. I was sitting on the other side of the table and I was hustling. I had that time clock, right? And I look at my son all the time. My son's 13, going on 14. I tell him all the time, man, learn how to use money. Financial literacy will supersede any studies that you
Anything.
can get in school, man. There will never be anything equivalent to that.
No.
Because it's very easy. You get $1, you spend $1, you have nothing. A lot of millionaires that I meet, they're like, yeah, I'm a multimillionaire. I'm like, cool. My brain goes, what is your debt?
Yep.
You might be a millionaire, but if you have $999,000 in debt because nobody taught you how to manage money, you're not really a
Now,
millionaire.
debt is not always bad.
It's not debt is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
I believe everybody should have debt.
Because other people's money can make you more money.
Of course,
Yeah.
of course, right? By delegation, right? You can have $1 million business, but if you have $555,000 tied into assets that are going to catalyze your business forward, yes, you're not a millionaire. You had debt, but you're progressing forward. A lot of multi-billionaires don't really have the billions. On paper, they do, but they're really just putting their money to work for them.
Yeah,
over
because
and
a
over
lot of
again.
them aren't liquid.
Correct.
And that's what a lot of people don't understand. And that's why when you get people saying, oh, we want to tax the billionaires on their unrealized gains,
Why
that
would we
makes
do
no
that?
sense.
That's stupid.
Yeah,
That's stupid.
It's
That,
incredibly
not only
stupid.
is that regressive, that is ignorance.
It is.
That is ignorance because obviously they did something for the world to create that financial freedom for
They have to
themselves.
put in work.
Of course, bro.
That's what people
Now,
don't
before I
understand.
used to be that guy, like, oh, tax the fucking big guys. Now, as being a business owner, I'm like, yo, this shit is harder work than being an employee. And even yesterday, I had this thought. I was like, I could go work a 9 to 5, have a for sure check on Friday. No, I'm getting off by 5. No, I can have a social life, or I can be a business owner. I'm working 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
My phone rang while I was in the shower this morning. I still picked it up.
Yeah.
I've done that
On the
before.
watch, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
On the
bro,
watch,
I
pick
picked
it
that shit
all
up.
the time.
Yeah, I was like, hello, so how may I help you?
Yeah.
You know, as an employee, you never have to worry about having to do that.
If you
But as a
don't-
business owner, man,
Friday you check out and you're like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I'm good
yeah.
to go.
And you know what? What's funny? People like to say, "Oh, you're a business owner, so what are your social hours like?" Social hours, bro. That's a funny joke. I was like, I don't know when I start. I don't know when I stop.
Yeah.
That's what I tell everybody.
All right.
So it's easier that way.
Yeah, I know, without a doubt. All right, guys, we'll be back with Happy Hour Holidays. Appreciate everybody tuning in. We'll be back.
And we're back with Happy Hour Holidays. We were talking to Mr. Martinez about certain things. And the one thing that we haven't taken a deep dive into is inertia.
Yes, sir.
Let's do that on this final segment. Let's learn everything and how it can benefit your customers. So tell us about inertia. I know you spoke a little bit about it in the first segment, but let's hear about it just one more time.
Awesome, brother. Well, inertia is where healing meets momentum, man. Inertia is no other than movement and catalytic, right? We want to be positive. Every time a patient comes in, what I tell everybody in a business world is a lot of people gets this concept mistaken, right? A lot of people say, because let's say both you and I were in real estate, you will see me as competition, man. In business, there's really no such thing as competition. There's only collaboration. And my side of things, the beautiful thing about this is there's going to be a point in time in my business where I'm not going to be able to take a patient, whether it's just scheduling issues, whether I'm just booked up, or whether it's the patient's too far from me. I'd rather create a relationship and collaborate with a local company that I can refer that patient to that company, knowing that they're not only going to be taken care of, but they're going to pretty much follow suit with us and making sure that not only are we advocating for that patient, but we're also progressing forward and giving the quality experience that the patient deserves. And I think that's a major misconception when it comes to businesses, and it happens on a weekly basis, right? I'm going to a marketing event and somebody finds out that my company's going. They're like, they retrovert to this regressive mindset. They're like, oh my God, that's competition. Why are you having that? I thought you were my friend. And what I tried to change in the business world is it does not matter that we do the same thing. What matters is the number one aspect in the room is how can we be better for the patients that are out there. What my company does is not only mitigates that relationship with patients, but as well as ties them into an attorney factor. So not only do I know my patient's going to get the best care possible, so why mess with the rest when you can come treat with the best? I'm constantly putting that out there because my company, we take pride in what we perform, right? Not only do we have the best therapists, we have the best doctors, we have the best nurse practitioner, the best chiropractor. What separates us from the rest is we are educators. We want to educate the patient. One of the things that we do to assure our experiences before you as our patient get put hands on, we're going to explain to you everything that's going to happen during this process. Every patient sits down with me. We do a free consultation. I'm going to sit down with you as my patient. Hey, man, here's when your accident happened. Here's where it happened. Here's your insurance. Hey, where does your insurance think you keep your car? A lot of times these people are like, oh my God, there's money. I got hit. I'm going to make $10,000.
Yeah.
Basic PIP, right? Personal injury, $10,000 in the
Like
state
a
of Florida.
Morgan type
Yeah,
shit,
and
right?
they're, before you know it, your insurance thinks your car is parked in Tampa, but you're actually living in Largo. Now you're, in a way, creating insurance fraud, because you're not being factual to your insurance company. So that's what I do when you sit down with me as the owner of my company. I'm going to find this narrative to paint to the attorney. So when I say, hey, listen, I think this attorney will be a phenomenal option for you. I think you should give him a call. At the end of the day, it's your ultimate option to go with that attorney or not. I just have your best interest in mind.
I'm wondering, do you actually have to testify in court sometimes?
There's times where we can get subpoenaed to testify in courts.
Yeah.
If it goes to PIP suits and stuff like that, if the patient has to go and put out some things, there's times where my treatment team will be subpoenaed to actually have to testify.
And it's in the benefit of the defendant, I'm assuming.
It's always in the benefit of the patient. Yes, definitely. We're patient advocates first and foremost.
How did you get into it though? Because you never explained that part.
Yeah.
Or did you when you
No,
said...
I did not. I didn't really dive deep in it. I think what catalyzed me to go forward
because
into
it seems
personal
very
injury.
niche.
It is, man. It is very clicky also. So the way I kind of fell into this industry, obviously in the marketing side, you know, and going through my healing journey, I fell in love with holistic medicine, man. You know, going from being an athlete to completely shut down and not knowing what I was going to do.
Is Inertia holistic?
Inertia is completely holistic medicine. We don't do any pain medications, anything of that sort. It is complete treatment throughout our holistic approach. We do manual therapy. We do shockwave therapy. Shockwave therapy is what kept me away from a fourth surgery. You know, this therapy is phenomenal. It goes in a cellular level. It breaks down scar tissue, and it really enhances the area to get filled with oxygenated blood, therefore furthering your injury by healing it. So
when you say shockwave, do you mean like electricity?
No, it's a pulse system. So it's a pulse system. It goes by pulse and frequency in hertz. So it is this machine that taps the muscle in the affected area, and it brings that oxygenated blood, that healing blood that you want in that area to start working and breaking down those scar tissues in that area.
So it's almost like getting rid of lactic acid?
Boom. Boom. Definitely. So it really breaks down. I mean, it's one of those therapies, man. We also have cold laser. Cold laser breaks, again, in a cellular level, breaks down those, fatty deposits, scar tissue breakdown. So it really helps greatly for the patient in a holistic way. I want to say, man, one of the things that stands out the most to me when it came from a patient perspective, shockwave, man. I was getting shockwave one time a week. I will get shockwave today. Tomorrow, I was already feeling 10 times better.
Have you ever seen that? It's like a gun, but it's not really a gun that has like a ball at the end and a stick into this machine, and then it just pounds the muscle.
Gun. Yeah, I like the Terraguns. I utilize the Terragun as a supplement to my daily routine, right? We were discussing off camera my stretching routine. You stretch for an hour a day. It's a great time to meditate.
Which is wild, bro. You only got 24 hours and you're stretching for 60 fucking minutes.
I mean, but you still have the same 24 hours I have, right?
Yeah,
Some people utilize sleep to supplement, which sleep is great. Sleep, it's the ultimate epitome to healing. But man, so is stretching. So is, having a proper body maintenance. When you stretch, when you breathe, a lot of people like to breathe with their mouth, man. Nose breathing. I'm a huge advocate for it because of the benefits for it. But aside from that, when you utilize and conjoin both of them, the stretching and the nose breathing together, man, and you meditate, it is a beautiful change to your life. You start feeling better. You look at life with a different energy. And overall is when you heal your body internally, externally, you're going to feel better. You're going to act better.
I'm wondering, you said that you only started this business 4 weeks ago, right? What would you say is the biggest obstacle you've had to climb? Is it finding new customers? Is it finding a location? I know we talked about the build out and all that stuff, but let's say someone wants to start a business. Maybe they're afraid. I know you've owned previous businesses before. What would you say is one thing that you could tell an individual that is hesitant to start a business? What is the best piece of advice you can give that individual?
The biggest advice I can give a new up-and-coming business owner, I developed this mantra, shut in, shut out. You got to shut in your inner thoughts because the number one enemy is the person in the mirror, because you will start to question every day what you're doing within that business, and you got to shut out the noise. Everybody not only is going to tell you, oh, you're crazy. Oh, my God, this is not possible. Oh, my God, it's saturated. In my network, oh, it's a very hard business. PIP is going to go away. Or, oh, my God, like there's 30 different clinics. Listen, when there is noise in an industry is a reason for having that noise. You just have to find your proper formula and what sets you apart. So when you shut in the person, you shut out that noise in the outside, you shut in the person that's in the mirror, because you are your biggest enemy. You will start believing what people are telling you. You will start believing, oh my God, it's not possible. Oh my God, I'm not getting new patients. And how am I going to pay my bills? My staff gets really well compensated. How do I pay these people? So my biggest thing is telling everybody is how you can shut out that external noise, and how you can shut out the person in the mirror will definitely make a difference. Why? Because when you believe you have something good, that you can create something good, it's going to come with a facet of a mountain that you got to climb. Anything worth doing will come with resistance.
I'm going to guess you fired some friends.
Yeah.
He's shaking his head yes on camera. You have, right?
Yeah.
Was that hard?
Yeah, man.
I mean, you must have fired.
Business world is lonely when you have something that you want to go forward. Why? You are directly correlated and dignified, defined by the 5 people you hang around with, right? If you hang out with people that want to go drinking every day, go do these things every day, go play around on a Friday night when you can be at a marketing event, is that the person that you need in this season of life? You know, it's crazy. The reason why you say Fire and Friends brought that look in my face was because business is lonely. Sometimes you get depressed. Sometimes you get like, oh my God, I'm putting 120% effort, but only seeing 2% return. The normal business owner will say, oh my God, it's time to activate that exit strategy. The 1% will say, listen, I can see past this. Not only are these not the people I need in my life right now, maybe I'll keep them at arm's length, but they don't directly need to be next to me. And that sometimes that we can't correctly correlate, like who needs to be next to me right now, because it's all an investment, right? If I want to invest in my future as a business owner, I must revolve myself around people like you, people like your brother, people like Vince, people like my buddy Marlon that owns La Gozadera, people like Dex that owns Caribbean Tours, people like Jax has a meal prep company. These guys are not only knowing exactly what I'm living, but they're doing everything that they're telling me to do because they're becoming successful by practicing that formula that they're giving me. So those are the people I like to surround myself, because these people not only are aiding in my future, but they're providing that little nugget to say, hey, this is what I'm doing. It's working. Hey, I did that last week, but maybe I got 2% return. If you do it this way, you're going to get a better return. And sometimes surrounding yourself around those like-minded individuals that can provide that, rather than the guys, hey, yo, it's Friday, we balling. That's not really what I need to do right now, because I can ball later in the future. But right now, it's put my head down and work.
I'm curious, man. Have you ever had a mentor?
I didn't, man.
Or did you just learn this from books through the grace of God? You know, I know in 2020 you got baptized, but I mean, you're speaking like an individual that is very well educated. And I mean, never had a mentor. You just said you never did.
Never, man. Never.
Where'd you get all your knowledge from?
Failure is my best friend. I aim for failure.
So then what was like the worst business you failed at?
I think my wrapping and design business, man.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy?
Was it in Brooklyn or was it in Tampa?
No, it was here. It was local, man. So what's funny is I married at the time, started from my garage, man, had this big printer, didn't know how to work it, didn't know how to laminate anything. I went to Orlando, took a course with Geek Wraps, and I always, you know, the businesses before Inertia Medical Center was always, how do I become a man to provide for my family? I no longer have the fire department, but my kids still got to eat. Rent is still due on the first. My wife still deserves me helping out with the bills. So what can I create to, you know, while I'm dealing with this injury, how can I still provide for my family, man? So I created that business in a whim, and literally I did very good work. It was just, I was in the right vehicle, meaning mindset. I was in the right trajectory because it wasn't really what I had a calling for. I love medicine. Medicine's my baby. I love everything about medicine. I did it professionally. And going into the space, not only did it change the focus, but it also put that ease that I no longer had tension pulling me back, but I had that progression going forward. Though it's hard and the tomorrow is not promised, I can still look at myself and say, today we can create new business by creating new connections. And in this type of business, it's not about what you know, it's not about who you know, it's how you can set yourself different than the people that are already in place.
You always talk about marketing, and you mentioned it a couple times, and you said you've marketed it in the medicine space. Were you working for a personal injury clinic before?
I was. So my wife, you know, at the time we kind of were dual, you know, we just kind of went back and forth. Ex-wife.
Yeah.
So, you know, we kind of worked hand in hand together. Not only were we out there marketing, we were able to create connections because we worked as a team. People not only had the ease of access to meet me and known that they were getting somewhere that where they were going to get their patients taken care of, but also knew that they had somebody in house that was going to assure that formula. Going into my own space is not only are you meeting me, the person that's out in the marketing field, you're shaking my hand, but you're also knowing the person that they're going to meet the first time they come into office is me as well. So not only does it develop that trust factor, it develops that transparency. And at times we forget that business is a transactional business, right? Whether there's monetary exchange or a personal exchange, is still monetary, because at the end of the day is you're providing your trust within me to send me somebody who you hope is going to have the quality of experience when they come into my practice.
So there's been a lot of things where I'm thinking, and correct me if I'm wrong, You've used YouTube University a lot, right?
Oh, that's the best university
Bro,
there
it's
is,
the
man.
only fucking university.
That's the only
it's the
way,
only
man.
one where you don't get
The
student
only
loans
way.
and they're like, oh, you
Yeah,
gotta pay
bro.
this shit back. YouTube is
University,
free,
dude.
dog.
I learned to
YouTube
do group
University.
speaking off of YouTube University.
Yeah, because
I
you also
learned to
said you want
sell.
to do some public speaking.
Yeah,
also,
man. So that's
right?
definitely the niche that I want to be in. But listen, it's very easy to look at a motivational speaker and say, what got you to be there? Was it daddy's money? Was it just your experiences? I tend to gravitate, like we were talking to ET, man. Eric Thomas I gravitate to Eric Thomas because this guy's been in the rough.
What about Goggins?
Oh, bro, Dave Goggins, man. I'm reading his second book right now.
Oh, shit,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. He's Goggins is crazy because I do 75 Hard. 75 Hard has a good outline within his first book. Goggins gets a lot of hate, but at the end of the day, he's a man's man,
I don't understand
bro.
why.
I really don't get it either, man.
You know, they must just not like the way he looks.
And, you know,
I'm not talking about his skin color. I just mean his face.
You know what's crazy, bro, is like sometimes when you become to a certain level of popularity, you still have people that are saying, oh, well, you took the bullshit way out. Maybe you weren't completely factual. Sometimes it's not about extending the truth. Sometimes it gets depicted and articulated in a way that you can comprehend. Therefore, you create a negative condensation of why that individual's putting that word out. Sometimes we are too quick to judge and very slow to listen. I like to say, man, God gave you two eyes for a reason. We're twice as much to listen and slower to speak because we should really listen to the story and see what we can pull out. A lot of people put out hate into the world, man, instead of saying, hey, man, that's very cool. I'm very proud of the person you became. Maybe you weren't what you amounted out to be in the field, but you turned out to be a very motivational guy that is going to still direct people towards this service.
And I mean, obviously, you're going to have haters online regardless.
For sure.
It's going to just be individuals that are low succeeding, that wish they were in your position, and all they can do is insult. Because I've seen a shit ton of motivational videos, and there'll be hate comments, and I'm like, how the fuck? How can you hate this speech?
Yeah.
Or this video or whatever? I mean, a motivational video changed my life to where I was able to quit my job and start a company with my brother, and it blows my mind that I'll go to that exact same video. I have the exact video that changed my life, and there will be negative comments on that video. How do you, how do you navigate through the minutia? And I don't know if you have an online presence or not, but how do you navigate through the minutia of the negative comments? Do you respond to it? Do you ignore it?
Hell no.
Fuck no.
I don't read none of that bullshit.
You know how I do it? I talk shit back to him.
You do?
Yeah,
Bro,
because it's fun. I'm like, okay, look at this little fucking troll, probably sitting in his mom's basement, fucking talking shit.
I don't listen
then I'll
to
be
none of that
okay,
bullshit,
fuck boy.
bro.
What are you doing?
None of that bullshit I listen to.
Yeah.
Listen, man. I
do it for fun, though.
Yeah,
it doesn't
your
bother
way of
me.
doing
I do
things
it for
sounds
fun.
legit.
Yeah.
Sounds like it'll be a good Friday night, you know, when you're sitting at home. But I don't listen to none of that bullshit, bro. For every good thing you do, there's going to be 10 people that are going to bash on you, right? In my space, it's so saturated that people are like, fuck that guy. That guy's doing it, but I don't want him to do it because he's 2 streets down. Let me badmouth him. You know, the way I do things, man.
And that shit happens
retroverting back
man.
to there's no competition, there's all in collaboration. And I won't say any names, but just recently, man, I was invited to a networking event. Then a day before it, I get a call. Hey, man, I'm so sorry, bro. And I like the guy. Hey, man, I'm so sorry. This person who also franchises my company, you know, they're down the street from you. 12 minutes. 3 major streets.
Oh, shit. That's
not to say the
close.
least. Yeah. So you look at it like this. Hey, in my line of business, that patient can be 5 minutes closer to your side. I may be better, but that person's still not going to drive 5 more minutes. Why not create a bridge to say, hey, man, I'd rather shake your hand and create a business alongside you. In the event that we have somebody that's 5 minutes down the street, I'll send you one back while I cover you on this one. Right? In the real estate world, right? Hey, man, I'm selling this property. I know you're not listing it, bro. I know you do photography. Do you mind helping me out?
You know, it's funny you say that because we actually have some photographers that don't do areas we do. And they're like, yo, you know, we got this person. They want photography. Can you go photograph it and then just pay us like a percentage of the amount? Yeah, that's collaboration.
Bro, it's collaboration. Yeah. And that's how business runs. You think these freaking big moguls, man, are out there looking at competition?
No,
they're not, man. They're making so much money, they don't know what to do with it. Yeah. They don't look at competition.
Well, I mean, you know, they're investigating their competition. Correct. But they're not completely denying their competition because let's put it this way. We're in a free market economy. What we're going to have is individuals within our same space and industry doing the same things.
Correct.
We can't, if you can't embrace it, then what you're going to do is fail, because
Correct.
you cannot be just isolated in a corner in the industry. Now, you can dominate an industry, sure, but domination also comes with collaboration.
Exactly.
Damn, that should
Each
be
and
on
every
a
time.
shirt.
Each and every
That
time.
should be on a
I always
shirt.
say it like this, man. Failure comes with knowledge, and knowledge comes with power. But with power, you come with a group of people who has aided in the process to you to gain that knowledge. Sometimes we're too quick to block a door that may potentially open 6 other ones because we're afraid. What about if you take my business?
That's closed-minded, isn't it?
Close-minded.
Yes.
Close-minded.
We're coming to the end of the episode. Crystian, can you give us some last words, pieces of advice that you would want to give your audience?
Definitely, man. Listen, at the end of the day, we're in business to make money. But aside from that, we're human beings. We want to create not only a space where you can feel good sending your family to. Inertia Medical Center is no other than a patient experience. We're not only going to guide you throughout the process from A through Z, whether you had an auto accident, motorcycle accident, slip and fall. We want to assure that you're not a number to us. We're not only going to create a relationship with the patient. We want to make sure that the experience they experience with us from day one is an everlasting one. We want to we hope to gain not only the business, but also to assure that we have a great referral network. That's why our experiences are number one catalyst. We want to separate ourselves from the rest by just giving you the overall epitome of what you should be treated like. So again, auto accident, slip and fall, motorcycle accident, 813-899-4440. We hope to gain that business.
How can they find you on the web?
Yeah, you can look us up on www.inertiamedicalcenters.com or in our social media, inertiamedicalcenter.com.
On Instagram, Facebook.
On Instagram, correct.
Well, it's been a plum-pleasing pleasure having you on, Crystian. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Once again. I hope the rest of your day is fantastic. And for all you people out there, please like, comment, and subscribe. Check out our channels. We're on every single platform imaginable, on all the socials, all the podcast platforms, iHeartRadio, Apple, Spotify, etc. And peace out.
Awesome.